There was never a part of my life that I don't remember the Pentecost being a part of it. Dr. Mark Pentecost and my father, Rhodes Purdue, were lifelong best friends. My mother and Martha were longtime great, if not best friends. Mark and Martha contributed for over 50 years in their capacity, both as members of the Board of Trustees and Board of Managers.
The special part of it was that Mark and Rhodes were best friends, and it felt like a family.
I remember my grandmother talking about Margaret and Rhodes, and especially how Margaret got her involved in the first place, and talking about like A.B. Martin and going to meetings downtown. And when we would drive in that area, they'd always point out, that's A.G. Rhodes' home. But they really didn't talk a lot about this kind of stuff. It was just kind of something they did, and it was incorporated into their lives and kind of a natural part of life. They made it look easy.
Atlanta's so much a better community because of them, and I think they would sort of say, we were called to do that.
Mark was in my medical class. We were colleagues, classmates. Mark and I were trustees of the William Schallenberger Foundation. This foundation funded organizations like the A.G. Rhodes Home. It went along with the goal of Mark to be helpful to people who need assistance. And of course, Martha was his right-hand man, so to speak, and I'm sure she discussed the various projects that we had in the Schallenberger Foundation. The Rhodes Home was one of her favorites and one of Mark's favorites.
My father always sought Mark's advice on a wide range of things, certainly medical things, but had him as a trustee of A.G. Rhodes very early in his tenure as chair because he depended so much on Mark's wisdom, Mark's experience, Mark's cool head. I know that Martha also shared that sort of sensibility and was a vital part of the Board of Managers.
They really gave of themselves, and they gave their time, and they gave their ideas and their energy, and just, I imagine seeing them being out and present and visible hopefully inspired other people to want to get involved as well.
They were very spiritual and very community-oriented, family-oriented, and I think they would look at all of us and say, get out there and get busy, now's your turn.
There was never any boasting about what they had given personally or what they were particularly interested in.
Something that always struck me about both Mark and Martha was their tremendous humility and always sacrificing for the community and always sacrificing for their family and always sacrificing for others.
I think we were a team for 65 years. We had a good run, and he was great person. To me, he was, and I think to a lot of other people. They recognized him, and I was always proud of that.
I know that my grandmother does not at all like to be the center of attention. She's amazing. I mean, she's like a rock star. She doesn't think that she's doing anything and doesn't probably understand what the fuss is about. And my grandfather was the same way, very humble and unassuming, and they just thought what they did was ordinary, but to me they were very extraordinary, and I feel like A.G. Rhodes is seeing that as well, and probably will make her feel good to know that somebody outside of her family feels the way that we do about her.
Mrs. Pentecost, we are grateful for all that you and your husband have done for A.G. Rhodes, and we thank you for your continued support of the organization.
Martha, don't be uptight about this. Relax and enjoy it. It's certainly due to Mark and Martha to have an honor like this. It's very appropriate.
We say thank you. Thank you for all you've done in making the community so much better and inspiring everybody.
When an organization like A.G. Rhodes has a couple like the Pentecosts that have served so selflessly for more than 50 years, not only is it our duty to honor them, but we are honoring the history of the organization. And I want to thank you, Martha, for letting us honor you and Mark today for all the contributions you've made to A.G. Rhodes and for the community at large.